When I make these videos, I don't script them out ahead of time. I just sort of turn the camera on and start talking. And I made a video earlier this week, and I thought I was going to be talking about friendship and how it um, applies to people with avoidant personality disorder. And turns out I started talking about something completely different. I'm going to give it a shot with trying to talk about uh, avoidant friendships. Um, because they're rare. um, it's difficult to have a friendship as an avoidant and with an avoidant. And the definition is a little different, I think, than what you would expect in the regular, normal, oh, those are awful words, but the general populace, let's put it that way. Because you can have somebody that anybody else would consider to be just an acquaintance for an avoidant person because they have so few people in their life, might be an extremely important relationship, even though they don't talk about them or to them very often. I mean, a couple times a month might be considered a really good friendship for somebody that's avoidant because that would exactly match what they are able to give, and how much they can trust somebody. On the other hand, if you're not avoidant and you've got an avoidant person, um, I hear it all the time. I personally call it collecting. Um, when a non-avoidant person decides that they really like an avoidant person, and it's not that it's not reciprocated, it's just really, really hard to have friendship as an avoidant person. It's really hard to allow that sort of intimacy and open yourself up to be judged. And so they might think that you're their great friend, and the avoidant person would think, no, not so much. And it's not that they don't, again, it's not that they don't like the person, it's just, it's really hard to open yourself up when you're avoidant because you are open to being judged, you are open to being misinterpreted, you're open to misinterpreting what somebody else is saying, and it's really hard. That said, once a friendship is established with an avoidant person, um, it's pretty much solid lifelong friendship. I have a friend that I basically grew up with on the same street that I grew up with, who literally I can go years without talking to him. And as soon as we start talking, it's just like it never had a break. He's awesome. I'm really lucky to have that person in my life. The thing is that even though I don't talk to him very often at all, um, it feels great to know that there's somebody out there that if I really had to talk to somebody, that I would be able to talk to them. And then as far as new friendships, it's almost impossible to have friendship with somebody who really does not understand avoidant personality disorder. I don't know, that's really unoptimistic. And if you can't have friendship with somebody who's not avoidant, then how can you have another type of relationship with somebody who's avoidant? Now, if you saw the video that I just made that was going to be about friendship, you will see that I'm pretty jaded. And yeah. So, but it is that is key. Is you need to either find somebody who completely, utterly accepts your limitations, sort of without question, and just is like, okay, yeah, you're cool. You're weird, but you're cool, and you're cool enough to counteract weirdness, and I'm gonna put up with it, and I'm just gonna hang with you when you can hang with me. Those are fantastic, awesome. and they're out there. Um, and as far as the other type of friendship, one that's sort of what people consider normal friendships, I mean, that you talk to pretty regularly, um, and about more mundane things. That's one of the things, is it's really difficult for avoidant people to talk about just general stuff, small talk. Why waste your life talking about, you know, gossip and television and please, so friendships tend to be more intense. It's really hard to have like a superficial friendship. They just don't exist for avoidant people. Um, so to have somebody who's a friend who is a more consistent friend, um, there are guidelines that you have to have, which is they have to know that if you go avoidant, if you need a break, um, not to take it personally. They need to know what you need as an avoidant person, and I mean, spell it out. And it changes. It changes. It could be that this week you've gone avoidant, you are in like a turtle that's pulled themselves into their shell, and you know what? You need to have that knock in. You need to have somebody to say, hey, I'm still here. When you want me, I'm still here. Or you could just say point blank, listen, I just really, you got it. That may be for a few days, and I'll get back to you. I mean, that sort of who says that in a friendship. You have to. You absolutely have to. And the other thing that I think is really important if you're going to be friends with an avoidant person is you're kind of responsible for distracting them. And again, it's a bizarre concept, but you got to keep them from stopping and thinking, wow, what am I talking about? What am I doing? How close am I being to this person, etc. You got to keep them from thinking that they're going to be judged, because if an avoidant person thinks they're going to be judged, they're going basically they're not going to be there. They're not going to be able to interact in any way. They're not going to be able to be spontaneous in any way, shape, or form if they're worried that they're going to be judged. Because it's beyond intolerable. I mean, it's just you can't live with it. So you've got to be able to do that. And then the other thing that is like cherry on top, if you can do this, is because avoidant people are really serious people, and they've got it's very common to have some serious comorbids with avoidant personality disorder. I mean, it's really easy to become depressed. Of course, you've had a nasty childhood, so it's really easy to have things related to that, like post-traumatic stress or something like that. There's a lot of things that can be going on. And of course, you could have other personality disorders too, mixed in with avoidancy, which would, of course, make things insane. Really hard to deal with. So I guess the distraction, the other part of the distraction is sort of to pull an avoidant person out of their, I don't want to say pull them out of their shell, because it's not. I mean, that sounds so easy and so simple, and with other people it is, but it isn't. And you've got to distract them from. Well, I don't even know how to put this. You've got to distract them from this constant negative self-talk, this constant "I'm not worthy." So, and that's hard. That's hard because that's the baseline. Anyway, so those are some of the challenges of being in a friendship if you're avoidant. And if you don't agree with me, that's great. go ahead and tell me so that I can maybe modify how I'm thinking. But those seem to be the key. That's really, really hard. You got to get somebody that can really accept you, and that can communicate with you in a way that is way beyond the pale of what normal friendships are doing, and also are able to distract you from the avoidancy in a nutshell. And that's what I think.